blockade is hurting major car companies, in particular Ford, General Motors, Stellantis, and Toyota, all announcing production issues as the protest disrupts supply chains. Workers in the Michigan auto industry could lose up to $51 million in wages this week, according to an industry analysis group. And Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who is obviously following this very carefully, is joining us now. Governor, thank you so much for being with us. This isn't just a Canada problem anymore. We're talking about $51 million in lost wages just this week. What's this doing to people in your state?
Well, it's never been just a Canada issue. It's been hurting us in Michigan from day one. Every minute this goes on is lost wages. It's damage to our businesses. This is an illegal blockade. And while people have the right to protest, they don't have a right to illegally block the largest land border crossing in North America. Hundreds of millions of dollars a day are being lost. There are Michiganders who are hardworking, simply want to show up to their job, and they're out of work right now. This is having a huge impact, and we are pushing on the Canadian government to resolve this swiftly and safely, because every minute this goes on is incredibly damaging to our economy and to our people.
I think there is a concern about swiftly and safely maybe not overlapping here. There's Windsor officials who are getting subpoenas. They're trying to start clearing. That's in their effort to try to start clearing these trucks and these vehicles in this blockade. The mayor has suggested that police may actually physically clear protesters. How worried are you that this could turn violent?
Well, I am worried. I think every leader should be worried about that. But my biggest concern as the governor of Michigan is that we are at an economic crisis in this moment because of this illegal blockade. And as I said, protesters have a right to protest their government. They do not have a right to illegally block these international borders where we have so much commerce. This is a homeland security issue quickly becoming. This is not just about the Michigan economy. This is for working people all throughout the Midwest, all across my state, and working people in Canada too. So while they have a right to protest, they do not have a right to illegally block this border crossing, and the Canadian government has to do whatever it takes to safely and swiftly resolve this.
Right-wing media, as I'm sure you're aware, is really fueling this. So let's take a listen to what we're seeing there.
The question is, how long before protests like this come here?
Will we need our own trucker rally to end all of this insanity once and for all?
America.
What is your response to that encouragement?
Well, obviously, we cannot incite and encourage people to break the law, especially when it means they're throwing other, Americans out of work and creating an economic crisis that we were just recovering from. It's incredibly dangerous. It is.
All right, I think that our signal with the governor has frozen a little bit. We're going to try to get, and she's back. All right, Governor Whitmer, I'm sorry, I was asking you about this encouragement by the right-wing media of this blockade.
Well, it's dangerous. They're inciting and encouraging people to break the law, and to do so in a way that devastates so many hardworking people. This is families. This is businesses in America that rely on this commerce free-flowing. This is 5 days, and it's already taking a toll of tens of millions of dollars. That number compounds over time. And any encouragement for people to replicate this and break the law and devastate our economy is not just devastating to our national bottom line, but to individual households, to businesses, to agriculture. So it's incredibly, I think, unhelpful and downright dangerous.
The snowball effect goes into Michigan. It goes into other auto centers across the U.S. Are you getting what you need from the White House?
Well, I've obviously been burning up the phone lines, speaking with people from the White House to the Canadian ambassador to our congressional delegation and some of the leadership in the Canadian government. We've got to push to resolve this, and it's got to be swift. And of course, we want it to be safely done as well, but it has to happen. We cannot let another minute go by unnecessarily, because this border is too important to our economy, to our homeland security, and as we grow our economy, It's a crucial moment.
Do police need to begin arresting people in the blockade?
You know, I'm not going to weigh into what how they proceed. I'm going to tell you right now, though, they have to get it done, and using whatever tool it takes to safely and swiftly end this is what we're calling on them to do.
This might become even more your problem, though. On Sunday, trucker-inspired protests are expected to pop up around the U.S. How do you plan to handle that?
Well, you know, Michigan has already responded. We've done a number of things to try to alleviate some of the choke points, whether it is rerouting certain parts of the traffic, it is supplementing with additional people working at the border. But the fact of the matter is, this illegal blockade is devastating our economy.
But sorry, Governor, I'm talking about what we're expecting to happen south of the border. So not the blockade at Canada. Trucker-inspired protests in the U.S., potentially in your state. Would you forcibly clear people?
Brianna, if people are breaking the law, obviously we'll assess it at the time, but we are working very closely with our federal partners and the state police. The fact of the matter is we're going to do everything we can to prevent that from happening in the first place.
All right, Governor, thank you so much for being with us. We're sort of watching this happen at the border, and it's really unlike anything. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, thank you.
For joining me.